Hello and welcome to the latest podcast. I am your host, JP John Poz. We're here, the two-man power trip over wrestling. Of course, joining me is the former WCW Head Writer, former WWF Head Writer, former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Vince Russo. Vince, welcome in. How you doing?
What's going on, John? How you doing, my friend? What's DTC mean?
OTC. This is a Roman Reigns sweatshirt.
Oh, okay. I
yes,
got
OTC, the original Tribal Chief.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Now, I got to start off with maybe something hot. I don't know if you would get mad at this or not, but I just talked to your good old, longtime personal friend, Disco Inferno, and he said, you have to mention this to Vince, that he, meaning Disco, was impressed with some things on Monday Night Raw, and he was just wondering what your thoughts on that were, that he was impressed with some of the things he saw.
On the well, you know what? To be honest with you, bro, I can't even comment because I only watched the YouTube 10-minute clip.
Oh, so you're not even watching at all anymore?
Oh, my God, bro. I haven't watched Raw since I stopped working for �𝐲𝐇 because I had to watch it with 𝐿𝐲𝐇. Right. I probably haven't watched Raw. That was probably, bro, September or October.
Wow, so you've been out of the loop. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, bro, because I do the Raw SmackDown reviews still on Russo's brand. So I watch the highlights. I watch the highlights on YouTube. I have not watched the full show since like September, October.
Wow. So you missed Punk and Roman and then Punk and the Usos. They're
I saw the clips. I saw the clips,
I was impressed by that, but I know he was impressed by that. There's a couple other things that he really liked in the show, but then there's some awful things like that Seth Rollins Batman 1966, them running around in masks, stuff like. Then there's that, which is terrible. Yeah,
bro, come on. How can you do something that freaking stupid? Like, I don't know.
Is that, to be honest, though, is that new woman writer? Is that literally putting her stamp on it, that now she's the writer, that she's
I don't know, bro. Like all I know is if this woman doesn't understand that she is sitting in scapegoat position, she's an idiot. She is an idiot, bro. They had to there's so much heat coming on them, creatively. Now they put her in that role, so now they have the heat to put on somebody else, and she's not even going to see it coming. So, bro, I got to ask you a question. Yeah. What I saw some of the Punk Reign, and I'm not saying this to be a wise ass. What makes you watch that and you're impressed by that?
I love the back and forth. I just love when guys, it's perceived that it's more real than it is. You know what I mean? You kind of get lost in the. Like if they perceive that it's a work shoot type thing, but it almost seems like they're more shooting than working. Like they're bringing up stuff like literally that they've never brought up on television before. Punk literally brought in the Shield, but the whole thing was that he picked Chris Hero, not Roman Reigns, and he was mad that they didn't go with the guy that he picked for the Shield. Like he hand selected Moxley, he hand selected Rollins, and he goes, "Okay, I want Chris Hero. That's going to be my Shield. I'm going to bring in these three young guys, and they're going to be working with me." And Vince goes, "No, I want this guy, Roman Reigns. You're forced to work with Reigns. This is the guy." So I love that they're bringing stuff like that up because they've never brought that up. No one really even knows that happened. You know what I mean?
Well, if I'm a casual wrestling fan watching the show, how am I supposed to know that happened?
Well, I guess you know that there's some sort of backstory with them, that they've actually go back many years, and that Punk, he basically said, he goes, "I brought you in," and then he goes, "Well, you brought the other two and you didn't bring me in." So I know I like that like realism to it, because they really don't like each other.
But that's always my issue, bro. My issue is always you're playing to an audience you already have. That's my issue. If I'm a casual fan, I'm not understanding that promo. That's my issue, bro. And listen, they can tell that story, but you can't lose sight of the casual fans. Somebody's got to lay out that story. You know what I'm saying? Like basically, if I'm doing the show and I'm writing the show, after that in-ring, it's like there's got to be a JR spot. There's got to be an on camera where they're explaining. Otherwise, if you're a casual fan watching that show, you got no idea what they're talking about. I didn't know any of that shit.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I've been a fan forever, and I know all the. So to me, that hit me in the good spots. I'm like, oh, they're actually bringing up their actual past. That they literally Punk didn't like him. He says, oh, and then remember on the podcast with Colt Cabana, Punk literally made Roman Reigns like a living hell because he goes, oh, that's Vince's boy. That's who Vince is trying to push. So then everybody, of course, turns on Roman because Punk said that. So Roman brings that up too, which I know not everybody knows either.
That's the whole thing. Bro, everything you're saying, I don't have a problem with. But God, bro, the whole reason why they're not selling out WrestleMania, and the numbers aren't where ESPN and Netflix expected them to be. The whole reason behind that is they're playing towards the niche audience. And what you just said, John, I don't have a problem with that, but you've got to give me that backstory, and that's what the announcers usually would have done. Like if that didn't end the show, during the next match, that's what JR would have been talking about. So if I'm a casual fan, well, oh, okay, now I understand. But the fact that they just ignore the people that might not, bro, I'm in the wrestling business. I didn't know none of that. I didn't know any of that, and I'm in the business. And that's where I think, bro, they're missing it. They've totally alienated freaking casual wrestling fans from watching this show.
Do you think the ticket prices play a factor?
Oh,
too?
of course it does, bro. Like ticket prices are ridiculous, man. It's a joke, bro.
It is crazy that they made, what was it, 30 million for each night. So they made 60 something million off the WrestleMania tickets last year, and they're trying to like beat that. It's like, man, I can't expect that. That's just an insane amount of money for tickets.
It's an insane amount of money. And then people are even talking about, bro, when you're paying that amount of money for the ticket, all the processing charges are costing you like hundreds and hundreds of dollars alone. It's nuts, bro. It's crazy. I don't know how they got 38,000 people. I don't know how people afford that. I don't.
Yeah, and especially those people that always go, it's like, man, then you're traveling, and Vegas it's like a ripoff. It's a totally expensive. So Vegas is a terrible spot too, just because it's so much money for the hotel and Ubers and all of those stuff. It's nuts over there.
Yeah.
So what did you think? Because you mentioned the scapegoat stuff. Like, what did you think about Road Dogg leaving and quitting WWE?
Bro, you could see it and watching Unreal. I mean, you saw how frustrated the guy was, bro. And I remember watching Unreal, and I remember like he's sitting there and he's afraid to speak up and say how he really feels because he's afraid of pissing off Triple H. Bro, he's known freaking Triple H for 30 years. Can you imagine, bro, being friends with somebody for 30 years and being afraid to be honest with them? You could tell on Unreal he was struggling in those meetings. And, bro, there just comes a point in your life, like when you reach my age and Road Dogg's age, where, bro, you just have enough money in the bank. You don't need to go to work every day and be miserable and unhappy. It's that simple. And you could see how frustrated the dude was. And, like I said, man, thank God, the dude's had a great career. I'm sure he saved a lot of money. Bro, nobody wants to be putting up with that shit in your 60s, man. You just don't.
And what do you mean by the scapegoat? Like, they're basically saying he's the reason why creative stinks? Is that kind of what you're getting at there?
No, what I'm saying is they set her up to be the scapegoat. This new woman, she's going to take the fall.
Oh, but you don't think he was the scapegoat, though? Like, with them saying, like, oh, he's gone now creative will get better, or no?
Well, I think part of the reason was, bro, in sports, bro, in sports, when a team is struggling and the team is not struggling, creative is struggling, not business. Business is not struggling. Let's make it clear. Creative is struggling. Bro, in baseball, in football, when a team is struggling, somebody's got to take the fall. You know that, bro, because if not for anything else, it sends a message. And I think that was part of it, that, he was going to be the guy to take the fall because somebody had to go. And obviously, he's not the guy in charge. He's not the guy calling the shots. And obviously, you know, the bad creative does not fall on his shoulders, even though it kind of does, bro. Because if you know something's not right, you got to speak up, man. You can't be afraid of pissing people off. You got to be honest, man.
Is there too many people in that writer's room?
Oh, no doubt, bro. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, man. It's a joke. It's a joke, man. That writing room is a joke, man.
It just seems like, I don't know, maybe not the best atmosphere to be creative in writing.
Bro, we used to write freaking me, Vince, and Ed at Vince's house. Vince would be in his freaking sweatsuit, you know, bro, in a boardroom wearing shirts and ties. How can anybody be creative in that kind of environment, bro? There's no way, man. In order to be creative, you need to be in a relaxed atmosphere, a relaxed environment. You can't be feeling any pressure. That creative room that we see on Unreal is the complete opposite of what a creative room. Bro, I guarantee you, Parker and Stone, when they're laying out South Park, I guarantee you that's not what the room looks like.
And is Triple H really always there? You know what I mean? Like they're trying to put him at the front, the head of the table and stuff. I would imagine him or Vince aren't always there. They come to them at the end of the week, like a lot of the times, right? And like you guys would be fixing the show or whatever, and then you kind of give it to him. He's not sitting there the whole time, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, with Vince, bro, Ed and I would write the show and then present it to Vince. I mean, that's how we would do it. Then Vince would add his 2 cents. I would make the changes. I would get with Vince one more time on Friday, and that was the process, bro. That's how we did it.
Because it looks like, or they were making it out to be like he's always there at the table, and they're like pitching him ideas, and they're going back and forth. I was like, I don't think that's really how it goes with actually writing the show. There's no way that he's sitting there going over every part of the show, being like, I like that, I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Whatever, bro. I mean, God, I don't know. So, yeah, especially now, SmackDown's another 3 hours, bro. I could never sit through that stuff anymore. Like I said, I was doing it. I was so relieved when SportsKeeda pulled the plug, because that meant I didn't have to watch any of these shows anymore. And I haven't watched them since like October.
It is a long show, SmackDown. I like 2 hours better. I know Raw's like 2 hours, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 30 minutes. But yeah, I like him to be a little bit more concise, a little short. 2 hours is better.
Yeah.
Why did SportsKeeda do that? Just they were done with wrestling? They moved on?
Bro, honestly, I don't know. Like they started chipping away and cutting people, you know, like a couple of months beforehand, and then they just ended everybody. And, you know, like I said, hey, bro, listen, those guys paid me well, but I'll be honest with you, man, having to watch those shows and then do review shows, like, oh my God, it was such a relief when they pulled the plug, man, because that meant I didn't have to watch it anymore.
You know where Road Dogg might be a good fit?
AEW.
I was thinking JCW.
Oh, Road Dogg would be a great fit at JCW. I would use freaking Road Dogg in a freaking heartbeat, bro. And that might happen.
Really? Oh,
Who knows, bro? We talk to everybody, man. That might happen.
Are you still friendly with him?
Road Dogg?
Yeah.
Bro, I got Road Dogg on SportsKeeda when they let him go the last time. I was the one that got him on SportsKeeda. I bet you, though, bro, if I'm freaking Road Dogg, though, I want a break for a while. You know what I'm saying, bro? I need to take a break, man. I don't think he's gonna jump into something right away.
He's doing the convention scene, though. So he's doing a bunch of signings. Literally next week, I think he has a signing.
Yeah, but that's just to show up and sign. You know what I mean? That's not a job. You know, that's that's easy, bro.
Yeah, I wonder if AEW would be a good fit. I don't know, just because Tony seems like he just does things his way. Like
he wouldn't be a good fit there. Tony's gonna do, bro, what Tony wants to do. It would not be a good fit there.
Like he had Arn, Tully, Jake, and didn't listen to any of them. Like, why would Road Dogg be any different? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then he's got that freaking Mark, Will Washington. That's what he wants, bro. He wants freaking marks that are gonna bow down to him. They're not gonna push back. They're gonna do whatever he wants. That's what Tony Khan wants.
So you are not impressed with what you're seeing on the clips from WWE either? No, nothing.
Bro, when you have a 3-hour show and the highlight reel is 10 minutes, what does that what does that tell you? Like, what does that tell you, bro?
Yeah.
The SmackDown highlight clip last week was 10 minutes. That's how long it was.
Damn. Disco said he was impressed with Penta. He had that promo before his match. I thought that was good too. What else was he impressed with? Oh, Dominic, of course, Dominic Mysterio, and then the Punk stuff.
How can you be impressed with Dominic Mysterio when the week prior he gets cursed by Danhausen and loses his Intercontinental title, and the following week there is zero follow-up to that, and Dominic completely forgets about it? How can anybody be impressed with that type of writing?
That is true. I was even thinking that they didn't really go back to Dan. He blamed it on Finn. He said it was Finn's fault, Finn Balor's fault.
Yeah,
that's the way he kind of went about
because
it.
Because they're not creative. That's why. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Disco is impressed by that. A totally dropped story. That's what it was.
Well, the turn, I guess, the way he was so vicious with the turn. They turned on Balor, they took him out or whatever. He was, and I liked it too, like the way that they went about it. And they just kicked his ass. But yeah, he blamed it on Finn, although he never really. You're right, I didn't think about that. He never really brought up the Danhausen thing, like that. Exactly. Danhausen cursed him. He blamed it on Finn not helping him when he said he thought he was going to help him.
Yeah, exactly.
So just as far as what we're going to cover today, I know you absolutely love WCW and love discussing the old shows. So WCW Sin back on January 14th, 2001, Indianapolis, Indiana at the Conseco Fieldhouse, 6,617 in attendance. The buy rate was 80,000. So a little bit up as far as the buy rate is concerned, but still not great. And only 6,600 in attendance. Not great, but not terrible. For a pay-per-view, you probably want a little bit more.
So how long am I removed from this at this point?
So November, December, this will be your third month gone.
Got it.
At this point.
Thank
and
God.
What are you doing in 2001? What are you hanging out? Just lounging?
I hang every 2 weeks. I'm going to my mailbox to make sure there's a check in it. That's what I'm doing. That's it.
When did you stop getting paid from WCW?
When my contract was up.
Was that literally after WCW ended? Like, so WCW's over in March of 26, 2001. And
yeah, I guess my contract was like September 1999 to September 2001. I guess that was my contract. Yeah.
So you're getting paid basically 6 months after WCW's dissolved, basically.
Yeah, I got paid every single week for every 2 weeks. I think it was for 2 years. I got paid.
That's got to be, and I mean, obviously it's been out there, but that's the reason why a lot of those guys didn't go to WWF right away, right? I mean, because they wanted that paycheck until.
Oh yeah, I would definitely think so. I don't regret this, bro, because obviously, how would I know? But my God, bro, they wanted to sign me for 3 years, and I said no. I could have got a whole other year.
Yeah,
but I said I told them I only wanted to sign for 2.
Well, who knew that they were going to sell to. 2 months later, they're basically, or a few months later, would sell to WWF of all places.
Yeah. Yep.
Although that's a little fugazi if you really look into it.
Yeah.
With Stu Snyder and Brad Siegel and those guys, that sale was a little fugazi. The sale amount, the amount of money was a little fugazi there.
At 1,000%, 1,000%. Yeah.
Did you ever get any clarification on that? Like, as far as, did anybody ever mention it to you? Oh yeah, like, you know what I mean, like backroom deals and stuff, or that's just rumor?
Yeah, bro. I'll be honest with you, John. I never asked because I don't care. Like, I could care less. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I would have to say, man. Here's the question. Why did they hire me in the first place? Because, bro, the wheels had to be in motion. When I got hired, bro, when Bischoff got let go, okay, and the WWE started kicking their ass, the wheels already had to be in motion for them to sell. They already had to be in motion. I don't even know why they bothered hiring me. I don't even know, because I'm almost certain the wheels were already in motion.
So interesting too with Bischoff, because technically speaking, he's let go or sent home, but he's still getting paid. So he's still under contract that whole time too. So that's another thing. It's like WCW always kind of, I don't, and I guess NFL teams still do it to this day too. They'll fire a coach
Yeah.
and they're still paying him for years. And I know it happens in other sports too.
Yeah.
But it's like it always seemed like that WCW, like even like when they sold, well, the mother company, the AOL Time Warner, they're still paying you for 6 more months, or you know what I mean? It's always like they never could straighten things out.
Listen, the fact of the matter is Bischoff was paying these guys a shitload of money, and they were delivering because of the numbers. So they were making a shitload of money.
Yep.
But the problem was, once WWE made the comeback, now WCW is making less money, but still paying out a shitload of money. And that's why I would have to think that at that point, the wheels were already in freaking motion, bro. Like, so why even hire me? Like, it just, when I look back now, like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Were you a plant? Did Vince McMahon send you down there to kill WCW?
1000%, bro. That's why the ratings went up the first 3 months.
I love that rumor. And sometimes, people on the internet, they'll bring that back up to like, wasn't Russo down there to kill it? And like, whoa, where the hell did they get that from?
So stupid, bro. So stupid.
So the pay-per-view actually only has 2 announcers. Usually WCW had 3, but now it's only Shivani and Hudson. They're going with the 2-man team here instead of the 3.
Bro,
no Madden, no
Scott,
Stevie.
Scott Hudson's making a comeback on JCW, bro.
Yes.
I'm looking very, very forward to that. As soon as he's healthy, up and around, I can't wait to see Scott.
Somebody on this call here got you Scott Hudson's number, if you remember correctly.
Yeah, there you go. Very nice. Very nice.
Because you said, hey, bro,
I got to tell you, like,
yeah.
And listen, sorry, Larry, I'm eating into the time because I really don't want to talk about this stupid pay-per-view. But I got to tell you, I'm looking very, very, very forward to Scott Hudson's return, but Scott working with Joe Dombrowski. Joe Dombrowski's freaking great, bro. He is great. I mean, I don't really know Joe's background and why he never worked for like a major company. He's freaking great. And man, I got to tell you, him and Scott, once Scott becomes familiar with the product, I'm really, really looking forward to that.
He works for MLW. I know that they're not on TV, but he works for MLW and a bunch of others. He's kind of like the voice of the indies, so to speak.
He's good,
he's
man.
Great.
He is really, really, really good. Yeah.
He's great. Great voice, too. I like he's got that very perfect wrestling voice.
Yes.
Unlike, no offense, but unlike 𝐿𝐴𝐓𝐿, who's not really, I don't know, from AEW, he's not really.
Does he still do it, 𝐿𝐴𝐓𝐿?
Yeah, but for some reason, no mention of it. He didn't do the last 2 shows or something like that. I know he didn't do Dynamite. I don't think he did another show.
Who's the commentating team?
So it was Ian Riccaboni, who was from Ring of Honor, who's actually pretty good, Tony Schiavone, and Bryan Danielson.
And JR hasn't been on in forever, or what?
He came on like sporadically. His health wasn't great, so he'll come on and do like a main event or something. But he's on very, very sporadically, not hardly on at all. And then also on Collision, we'll have Nigel McGuinness as well do some commentary. Taz sprinkled in Taz.
Yeah, I always liked Nigel. Always liked.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
and then you sprinkle in a little Don Callis here and there, so they have plenty of commentators. But I don't know, something with the 𝐿𝐴𝐓𝐿. I'm just not believing him as the lead. I know he's been doing it for 6 years. I know I just don't see it.
Yeah, interesting. So you watch you watch AEW too?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, I have not watched that in about 6 years.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to keep up with everything pretty much. Sometimes I'll watch TNA, AAA. I'll try to watch whatever I can.
Is TNA better on A&E?
AMC, yes, a little bit better. Yeah. The first show was like the production was, I don't know, I guess because it was live, it was almost like they never ran a live show before because there were so many mistakes.
Yeah,
and like errors and cutting a commercial, and when the announcers didn't know they were cutting it, like a ton of mistakes, and they cleaned that up, so it's been a lot better.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that either.
Just shocking that they were a company that's been around for 20 years and having production snafus. I know it's more of AMC, but that was crazy to me because I'm like, wait a second. I go, we missed the introductions for the guys in the main event, and then there was something after the main event that was setting up the pay-per-view, and they cut it off. Like I was like, what the hell? Like, so a lot of production snafus in the first one that they've corrected. So they've gotten better.
Good.
So for Sin, we got the opening video.
Bro, we just ate 25 minutes. Beautiful.
Larry's gonna
beautiful. Let's go.
I know you hate the WCW. That's why I was joking around before saying you love it, because I know you hate it. Yes. So
yes.
Opening video package. We start off with a match, and quite a good one. Chavo Guerrero Jr. defending the WCW Cruiserweight Championship against Shane Helms. Chavo wins in 11 minutes, 15 seconds. Really good match here. He retains the Cruiserweight title. Just one of those things where, I don't know, it just seems like the wrestling on this show stepped up. And I don't know, and obviously there's agents involved, and there's obviously the wrestlers themselves, but Johnny Ace is now basically running things, and supposedly Bischoff is about to buy back WCW with Fusion Media Ventures. So supposedly Bischoff is really in charge, and he's at some of the shows, and he's giving some directions, and he's telling guys, you know, what's going to happen to stuff. But basically, Johnny Ace is running things.
I would love to know, like, what something happened between Brad and freaking Eric. Something happened for that not to happen. Something went down. Nobody talks about anything, but I didn't know it was to the extent that Eric was actually at these shows and Johnny Ace is his guy.
Yep.
Something, see, that's the part of the story nobody talks about, bro. Something went down between Eric and Brad. Something. And that part of the story I would love to know.
I 100% too. But the crazy thing is, Bischoff, obviously this would be a few months later, he thinks he has to deal with Fusion Media Ventures. He goes on vacation. It's like it's done deal. He's at the bar, he's at the bar, having drinks, relaxing on the beach and stuff. He thinks he has a done deal. So Brad Siegel literally kept him in the dark too. He lied to him, basically. He didn't tell him that he was going to sell the WWF. So so I'd love to know from the Brad Siegel point of view, like what was going on.
Well, Brad Siegel, this was the guy that, gave me and Eric different direction. According to Eric, Brad Siegel told Eric that he was my boss.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Brad Siegel told me that Eric and I were working together. And when he was asked that question on Dark Side of the Ring, he said, I don't remember. So, he was not above board. I guess he told me what I wanted to hear, told Eric what he wanted to hear. Obviously he didn't. Well, I don't want to say he didn't lie because I don't know exactly what he said to Eric. See, bro, you got to understand something. After those 3 months when they brought me in, they said, we're going to a committee now and you're part of the committee. Okay. I said, no, I'm not. I've got a freaking contract that says I'm head of creative. So I'm not going to be part of any committee, right? So that's why Brad Siegel knew he could not make Eric my boss. He knew that because he knew my contract said I was head of creative. So that's why when he said to me, I want you to work with Eric Bischoff, I couldn't say no. I'm working with him. I'm still head of creative, but I'm working with him. If he would have said to me, Eric Bischoff is now your boss and he's the head of creative, I would have said the same exact thing. But, I don't know. I don't know what he said to Eric. I don't know how he positioned it to Eric. I only know what he told me. But I would love to know something went down there, man.
But it's weird because it seems like he placated Bischoff too, because he's like, okay, Eric, yeah, you're running things. So it's weird. He's like placating both of you guys, or telling you both what you want to hear, but then he says he doesn't remember.
Yeah, exactly. He remembers.
It's a really interesting guy. I've talked to him once. He wouldn't let me record, though, oddly. He didn't want to be interviewed, per se. And a friend of mine who wrote a book about WCW said the same thing. He didn't want to be on the record with anything. Yeah. So it's so weird. It's like, wow, what do you think I'm going to ask you? It's kind of obvious. Like, what the hell happened there? And he doesn't want to go on record with it. Even when he on Dark Side, obviously, which was a big production, he wouldn't really give a straight answer on that either.
Do you know what he's doing now?
Damn it, I forget what the company was, but he was some CEO of some, like, not small, but like a smaller company. So I'm not sure. I don't remember what it was or what it was for, but he was still like in charge of something.
Yeah. Yeah, there was so much shit that who knows, man. I have no idea.
But it's crazy. WCW at one point was making so much money, and he still hated it, and he still resented it, and still didn't
Yeah.
like wrestling, even though it made him so much money. And his Nitro brand that he created, which was like the Saturday Night movies and like that whole Nitro thing, really was set off because of wrestling. And maybe he didn't appreciate that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Who knows, bro? Who knows?
So I kind of was wondering, and I asked the same thing to your boy Disco too about Johnny Ace. Like, is he really in charge of WCW at this point? Is he really like this great Finnish guy that everyone talks about? And he said, yeah, he was like basically running things and he was good. But like from your perspective, does it matter that much of the guy running things? Would he literally like make like a snowball effect where everything would get better on the show, or that's not really the case? Like there's too much going on in WCW for one guy to straighten this ship out.
Oh yeah, bro. No, one guy could not be able to straighten that shit out, bro. There were just so many holes and so many freaking problems, man. You know, but it just sounds to me like Eric already had him in place. Like, I mean, and that's interesting, bro. I didn't know, you know, Eric was attending shows and all that. I had no idea, bro. You got to understand, man. When I walked away, I wasn't keeping up with this shit. I didn't care. Or I'm being honest with you, bro. I waited at my mailbox for that check to come. That's all I cared about. There were going to be no problems as long as that check came. But I was not following any of this stuff whatsoever.
My buddy Lash LaRue was talking to him, and he said at around this point in time, Bischoff would sit him down and be like, all right, you got in better shape like I asked you to. Like, you know, like he's literally giving these guys direction and stuff, but I feel like that's not really talked about enough. And he's like, all right, you know, like Rick Steiner eventually going to come back and he's going to rough you up a little bit. Like he's literally like laying out stuff for the guys, and that isn't really talked about because I think he assumed, and rightfully so, that the Brad Siegel must have been leading them on, that he's buying WCW. Like with Future, he's going to be taking over.
And there's no story whatsoever of how that all broke down.
No. Even Eric himself was like just confused. He thought he had, like, they were in agreement for months. They were in agreement. Yeah. Wow. He literally goes on TV, Bischoff, weeks before the sale, and was like, next week, we're going to do the Night of Champions. I'm going to do, and like, he's telling you how the show is going to break it down. They kept Night of Champions. Bischoff's not on it. He has nothing to do with it. So
he did that as part of the show.
Yes, the week before they ended up selling WWF. Wow. So he said they had a contract. Everything was written out. All you had to do was sign on their side. Everything was good. He'd literally been running the show for months anyway. So it's like, what the hell's going on here? And it doesn't happen. Wow. So weird. Wow. And like you expect him to be on it because he literally was on the week before talking about how the title will be on the line between Booker T and Scott. Like he literally lays out the whole show. The show happens. He's just not on it.
That's crazy, man.
And he promised like returns and stuff, and obviously that doesn't happen because they were supposed to bring back Goldberg and all these guys, and it doesn't happen. So something happened where he just or maybe Brad Siegel was placating the whole time and just was like, yeah, okay, Eric, yep, we're selling to you, yep, Fusion Media Vendors, yep. Oh, by the way, we don't want you on TBS and TNT anymore. And he's like, well, what are we going to do? So he's trying to shop it around to Fox and those other places, and then boom, sells it to WWF.
That's great. I would love to see. That's the part of the story I would love to know.
Me too. I don't even think Eric knows. It doesn't seem like it anyway.
Yeah. Interesting.
So Johnny Ace is kind of the man in charge here running things. Mike Tenay's in the back with the television CEO, Ric Flair, who's running things. And he's talking about how there will be a mystery man in the WCW World Heavyweight title match later tonight. So it's Scott Steiner versus Jeff Jarrett versus Sid versus a mystery man in a four corners match for the WCW World Heavyweight title. And this show is all around who's the mystery man. He showed up during Nitro and stuff, and he's kind of teased who it is. Very weird look. He's got the Jason mask on and an all black outfit. Kind of don't know who it is. There is rumors, though, floating around that this mystery man is Rick Steiner, who we haven't seen in many months. Also rumors that it might be Macho Man Randy Savage, of all people. Spoiler, it's not Macho Man, but I actually was thinking and hoping it was going to be Macho Man. But it's those are the rumors floating around. So they're trying to pump it up as far as the mystery man. I don't know if it's going to live up to hype, but you'll find out later. You tell me if it lives up to the hype.
Okay.
So then we have Mean Gene in the back. He's with the Mama Lukes. very funny. Vito says we're not the Mamalukes, we're the Paisans. But they keep calling them the Mamalukes anyway. But he has to say that the Paisans.
Yeah.
Is that an Italian thing? You guys don't like to be called Mamalukes?
Well, a Mama Luke is derogatory. There's no question about that. Yeah.
You made that up though, isn't it? Didn't it?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Should they have been the Paisans?
No, it should have been the Mama Lukes.
So then we have a video package on Big Vito and Reno, who they say are brothers, by the way. Then we have the match. Actually ends up being pretty damn good match. Reno defeats Big Vito via pinfall, 8 minutes, 40 seconds. Actually kind of beats him clean. They're really pumping up. He does the roll of the dice, which is a lot like Cody Rhodes' finish now, the Crossroads. Really pumping it up. Do you like that? Big Vito is the babyface. Reno's the heel. He had turned on him, and he kind of is beating him clean. Do you like that? Because it kind of hurts Vito there. It doesn't really.
Yeah, you got to kind of. I always believe you got to protect everybody on the roster. I mean, I would have tried to protect Vito in some way.
Do you like that though? Like the heel gets a clean win, but they're really kind of pumping up that the heel has the killer finish too. Like that if he hits the finisher, it's over.
Yeah, but again, man, just the same way I write to this day, I try to protect everybody on the roster. So whether you give Vito his heat back after the match, I mean, whatever you do, but it's hard for me to say, bro, because I don't know what the build to this is. You're telling me Vito's a baby face now. I don't know what the build is to this, the months leading up to it.
So basically, they find out they're brothers. Vito and Reno start teaming together. Reno then turns on Vito, setting up this match. So it's like Vito kind of is like typical babyface. Oh, you're my brother. I love you. I missed you. And all sort of stuff. Then Reno turns, shows that he's the bad brother, and then they have the match. And you think that Vito might get his revenge a little, and Reno beats him kind of clean, basically.
Was this the end of the program?
No, it still continues, but it's just, I don't know. You would think that he would cheat to win. That just was my guess.
I'm with you. Yeah. That does make more sense. But
your boy Mike Sanders in the back, he pays off Adams by himself. Clark comes and says, when Mike Sanders walks away, he shows Adams even more money and says, "Oh, I got paid off by somebody else." And then Adams goes, "Well, we're going with your money." So that's a little tease that Chronic is somebody's paying off Chronic, and it's not Mike Sanders. So
I like the little swerves. I like the little swerves. Yeah. Always like the little swerves.
Next up, they actually said they're throwing in an extra match here. They said that it wasn't announced. They're throwing it in there for the pay-per-view. For some reason, Sullivan said that he'd like to do that too, to make it seem like when you're watching it, oh, we're getting an extra match for free. So we're getting more than what we paid for. Is that like the right way to go about it, or do you think that they're trying to waste time? You know what I mean? Like, oh, we have extra time.
Well, maybe something went short, or maybe somebody's hurt and they got to go short. That's probably what's happening. But I don't mind the philosophy of throwing in an added bonus. I don't mind that at all.
And to be honest, oddly enough, kind of might be the match of the night, just because it was awesome. But kind of a car crash, but just an awesome match. The Young Dragons, Kaz Hayashi and Jimmy Yang with Leia Meow, aka Young Yang, which was interesting, but with Leia Meow, defeated Evan Courageous and Jamie Noble in about 9 minutes, 20 seconds. Really good, fast-paced match, typical cruiserweight kind of car crash. Interesting, though, the finish is, after all the crazy moves, the finish was an inside cradle. So I just thought that, I always find that funny, like even in today's wrestling, crazy. Oh, can't win. Inside cradle.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel the same way. Yeah.
But we got a nice little bonus. Really good match, though. Like something that you would think maybe would, even though Chavo Helms was really good to kick off the show and Chavo beat him, I just felt like that was like a good opener, cruiserweight opener, because there was so much action going on. Yeah.
And the added bonus is good, bro, because that match is not going to sell any more pay-per-views.
Yes, true. Very true.
Yeah.
Luger and Buff Bagwell arrive in the back. They're now known as Totally Buffed, and they are talking about their match later on with Goldberg and Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker, Dwayne Bruce. So if Goldberg loses, or Dwayne Bruce, Goldberg has to retire and Buff and Luger, who came in the building in like a Mini Cooper. It was like this tiny, weird little hot rod car, and they're just like ridiculous. They're laughing the whole time. It's just like over the top Buff, over the top Luger. They keep slapping each other and stuff, and they're like, "We're gonna retire Goldberg tonight." So it's just entertaining as hell because I feel like they're almost like ribbing each other, or like trying to get each other to pop.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because that's, I definitely see Buff doing that. That's a little bit out of Lex's wheelhouse.
Yeah, I could tell Luger was like kind of laughing, but being really sarcastic with Buff, like patting him back, like, "Yeah, we're gonna retire Goldberg's ass tonight." Yeah. So the whole tease though is that the Goldberg could be retired tonight. So that is out there. Then we have Ernest the Cat Miller with Miss Jones defeating Mike Sanders via pinfall in 6 minutes. What happens here is Chronic reveals that it was Ernest Cat Miller that paid them off. So
got you.
And what they do,
swerve.
Yeah, and what they do is they take the little bit of money that Sanders gave, and they show the big money that Cat has. Adams takes a little bit of money and just throws it on Sanders. It's like, that wasn't good enough for me.
I like the little swerve. Not bad. That's good.
Forgot to mention too, they did have a couple promos before the match. Mike Sanders had a promo and the Cat had a promo, kind of like teasing that they both were smarter than the other guy, and obviously Cat was the one that ended up being smarter.
Who was Mrs. Jones? Did she go on to be a player or not really? Like,
no. It's funny, she's still this autograph signing, says Mrs. Jones, but I don't know like what else she did or where she came from.
I don't remember her at all.
Very pretty, not half black, half white, but very, light skin black, very pretty. But I don't know where she came from. Athletic too, but I just don't know where. I don't know if it was like a cheerleading background or something. Because sometimes they would have girls that were the Nitro girls, and they're like, "Oh, let's see if you could wrestle," like they did with Spice and stuff. So I'm not really sure of her background or even what she did after that.
I don't remember her, but okay.
But Ernest the Cat Miller is the commissioner, by the way. So just throw that out there for later. So he is the commissioner. So then here's a very interesting part of the night that you need to remember for later. Keep this in mind. Ric Flair is in the back with Goldberg backstage, and he says that the match is going to be a no DQ tag match later on. And Goldberg says, "Yes, I agree, because I feel like Luger and Buff are going to try to get me DQ'd, and that's how they're going to end my career, and I don't want to go out like that." So Flair says, "Yes, that's what we're going to do." They shake hands. He says, "Great." And Flair says, "Before you leave, I want you to sign, meet my friend and meet his son. I want you to sign an autograph for him." So Goldberg signs an autograph for him, takes a picture, and we see babyface Goldberg. So just keep that in mind for later on.
Okay.
And Flair leaves. So then we have Mean Gene in the back. He's talking with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett in the 4-way title match. Mean Gene's kind of teasing, like, "Isn't Scott Steiner your boy? Isn't that your friend? Why are you in a title match with your friend? It almost seems like you're going to help him win." And Jarrett's like, "Well, Steiner's going to be losing, or Steiner's going to be leaving with the title," teasing that it better be somebody that the mystery man to help Sid, because it's going to be basically 2-on-1 with Jarrett and Steiner later. Do you like that? Do you like that little tease there?
You got to lay that out to me again. I got very confused.
So it's a 4-way match for the title. Steiner, Jarrett, Sid, and this mystery man.
Right.
But Jeff Jarrett obviously is Steiner's boy. So it's almost like, well, then Steiner and Jarrett are just going to make sure that Steiner retains the title. So Jarrett's not really in it to win it. You know what I mean? Like, and Mean Gene's calling him out on it. He's like, "You're not even in this match to win the title."
And is Jeff confirming that?
Kind of, yes. Basically saying that Sid has no chance.
I don't like that, because every man would want to win the title. You know what I mean? So I don't, that kind of kills the title. That Jeff doesn't want to win the title kind of kills the title a little bit.
It's like kind of teasing that it better be Sid and this mystery man. It turns into a tag match, but then you don't really need the world title to be involved. It's kind of like a little convoluted. The rest of the show I like, but it's like that becomes a little too convoluted. I don't know why. It's almost too much.
Yeah. It sounds it. Yep.
So we get a Lance Storm in-ring promo, and Team Canada is up next in a penalty box match against the Filthy Animals. Basically, you could put the guy in a penalty box, and he has to be in the penalty box if he does something wrong. Again, that to me was a little, even though the match is pretty good, that gets a little convoluted as well. Because I know TNA did that as well when you were there, right? They had the penalty box.
Yeah, the King of the Mountain match, maybe.
Yeah, where you get
Yeah.
pinned or whatever, you got to go in the penalty box for a certain period of time. So it gets, I don't know, it gets kind of confusing and a little convoluted too with that aspect of it. So basically, Team Canada, 𝐒𝐓𝐄𝐑, Lance Storm, Mike Awesome with Major Guns defeated the Filthy Animals, Billy Kidman, Conan, and Rey Mysterio Jr. via submission, thanks to Lance Storm, in the penalty box match. The match actually went 13 minutes long. It's actually pretty good for the most part. It's kind of just crazy and all over the place. Hacksaw Jim Duggan is the guest referee for this match, and he kind of begrudgingly gives Team Canada the victory. Like, he calls it down the middle.
Yeah.
Team Canada wins, and then he begrudgingly gives them the victory. So Hacksaw's still there and still kind of feuding a little bit with Team Canada, but he gives them the win. He's called it straight down the middle, called it straight up.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Then we have Mike Tenay. He's in the back with the Natural Born Thrillers. Then we have a little look into the Insiders locker room, which is DDP and Kevin Nash. They're stretching in the back. So we get a good look at them and kind of laughing. So it's almost like they're not maybe taking the Thrillers as seriously as they need to be taking them.
Interesting.
Then we have a video package for the Hardcore Championship. It's Ming, and he's going to be facing Crowbar and Terry Funk in a three-way for the WCW Hardcore Championship. Terry Funk is the champion going in. It's actually just a pretty fun, entertaining match. Ming actually gets the win, defeats Crowbar with Daphne and Terry Funk to win the WCW Hardcore Championship. The match goes 11 minutes and 40 seconds. The thing to me about this whole match is Ming ends up in WCW. Ming ends up leaving WCW for the WWF like a week later.
God, how long was he in the WWF for?
Ming, I want to say maybe 9 months. I want to say it wasn't long.
They called him Ming?
Haku in WWF.
Haku. Did they highlight him or?
Kind of, sort of, like he had some match. It was him and Rikishi kind of with Undertaker and Kane for a bit. He faced Undertaker a few times. Didn't really, but it felt like because he was WCW Hardcore Champion and wasn't under contract, that they just scooped him up and they put him in the Royal Rumble. He was a nice surprise guy for the Royal Rumble in 2001.
Wow. See, I didn't watch any. I wasn't watching any of that stuff back then, bro. Yeah.
Do you think it's risky that he's
Absolutely.
the Hardcore Champion
1,000%.
and he's not he doesn't have a contract?
Unless they were trying to do that to entice him or and it backfired on them. But I would not have taken that chance.
Kind of crazy because it's like, wow, okay, Ming's the Hardcore Champion. Let's see what they do with him. And it's like, whoa, what the hell? He's in the Royal Rumble like a week later. Like, whoa.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that chance.
Then we have Ric Flair. He's in the back with the Cat, and he's obviously Flair's the CEO and the Cat is the commissioner. So he's saying, hey, great win over Sanders. And he's like, oh, we got to make sure, this and that. And Flair goes, no. Take the night off. And he goes, I'm going to send some champagne and caviar, and I'm going to get you a hotel room, and then I'm going to get you in a suite. He's like, you're the commissioner. And Flair says he's going to treat him well. And Kat says, well, I eat collard greens and something funny. And Flair goes, quick wit Flair goes, I'll get that sent to your room as well.
Yeah. Very good.
So he basically, for whatever reason, they're teasing something there. He sends Kat off for the night, and Kat's going to be basically out of the building, so he won't be, I guess, maybe meddling with anything later on. Then Mean Gene is in the back with Sid, and for some reason I just always love Sid promos, but especially when he's wearing like something ridiculous. Do you remember how like puffy his hair was?
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason he would put a baseball cap like on the top, like, and the hat was like so small, and his hair is out of it. Yeah. So he has that. I don't know if he's like trying to get a pop or like pop the boys, but he's wearing the hat during the promo, telling how he's going to kill Steiner and get his revenge. Yeah. I was hysterical just because I was like, what is
I loved Sid promos, man, especially Psycho Sid at the WWE. I loved Sid promos, man.
Oh, I always remember him to Jim Ross. What's your question, little man? And telling Bret Hart, I don't know shit, cry baby. Like, Sid was the best. So then we have a video package, and it's Natural Born Thrillers versus the Insiders for the WCW Tag Team title. Maybe it's a bit of a surprise here, but Palumbo and O'Hare with Sanders, the Natural Born Thrillers, defeated the Insiders, DDP and Kevin Nash, via pinfall, 11 minutes, 15 seconds. Really good match. But of course, Luger and Buff cheated and they helped the Natural Born Thrillers win. So Luger and Buff beat down DDP and Nash, and the Thrillers are now your new WCW World Tag Team Champions.
Was this a handicap match?
Nope. It was O'Hare and Palumbo.
Okay, so Sanders just went out there with
he's the manager. Yeah.
Okay, got you. Interesting.
You like that though. DDP
very
and
much
Nash
so.
losing to the Thrillers. That's a huge
definitely build up those Thrillers. I like that.
It's interesting though. It's like it wasn't necessarily, even though Luger and Buff cheated for them to win, it's not necessarily to build up Luger and Buff versus DDP and Nash. It was almost more of like setting up Thrillers versus Luger and Buff. Is that weird to you or no?
That is a little weird. Again, man, not knowing backstories, it's kind of hard to judge the pay-per-view, but that does sound weird.
Because Nash the next month will go for the world title, and then Luger and Buff go for the tag title. So I was like, wow, that's weird, because you would think that because they cheated, that DDP and Nash would want their revenge and to get them back.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like I'm telling you, bro, what really lacks in wrestling is just continuity, man. I mean, even today when I write JCW shows, I've got this show up, but on my other monitor is last week's show. So I make sure we follow up on everything that happened the week before. I mean, but nobody does that, bro.
Smart. So then Mike Tenay's in the back with the Natural Born Thrillers. They're celebrating their tag team title win. They show Flair. He goes to the limo, and he's about to hit the mystery man and bring him into the building. Then we have a video package for Shane Douglas and his feud with General Erection, which has been going on for a few months for the United States Championship. Shane Douglas defeats General Erection in a first blood chain match for the WCW United States Championship. Shane is the new champ. He did the win and got the win in 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay match. I kind of was expecting more out of both of these guys. Something was just a little off. There was like a chain hanging, and you had to get the ladder to get the chain. And the way Shane wins is he gets another chain from when the ref isn't looking, from his boot, and he hits him and cuts him open. Then he takes that chain, throws it away, and grabs the other chain that Erection had that was the legal chain from the match.
Yeah,
it's a little too hokey. Like, who cares? It's a no DQ match anyway. What do you care if you're using the right chain or not?
Yeah, but that's a good point. That is a good point. Yep. Seems like those two would have had a good match though, but you think it was a little kabuki-ish.
Yeah, I think the gimmick of it ruined it. Yeah, it should have been better.
Yeah. Okay.
So Shane, though, he cheated, and obviously keep Erection strong because he didn't get pinned or submitted. It was first blood, so he lose U.S. title from first blood. And Shane,
so he's protected. That's good.
Yeah. Shane's the new U.S. champ. You like that? You like Shane?
Yeah, I do. I've always been a huge Shane fan. Always.
So Mean Gene has an interview in the back with Scotty Steiner. He's very confident about retaining his world heavyweight title. Then we have MIA in the back, and they're consoling General Erection. He said he worked too hard and too long to lose the title like this. And Lash LaRue and the Wall are trying to basically console him, say, no, it's all right. Erection walks away from them. He's pissed.
Yeah, man, they're still doing a lot of pre-tapes, man. Still, that's good.
Not as much as that last show that we were talking about, where they had like literally 100 of them, but still a lot. Then we have a video package for Luger and Buff versus Goldberg and the Sarge. Nice little video package, kind of highlighting that basically Luger and Goldberg have been feuding for a few months. Now you throw Buff into the mix and the Sarge.
Yeah.
And Michael Buffer is out for this match. We have Totally Buffed which is Luger and Bagwell versus Goldberg and Dwayne Bruce, aka the Sarge. This is a no DQ match. If Goldberg loses, he's forced to leave WCW. You're going to be shocked on this one, by the way. Totally Buff beats Goldberg and Dwayne Bruce in 11 minutes and 50 seconds, almost 12 minutes, and end Goldberg's WCW career. Guess what happened? That fan from before that was Luger and Buff saw him in the crowd, and they go to beat him up. Goldberg pushes them out of the way. The kid gets a can of mace, sprays Goldberg in the eye with mace. Goldberg can't see. They take Sarge out. Luger and Buff hit Goldberg with the chair. They put him in the double blockbuster, which is the top rope blockbuster, and pin Goldberg. So he was blinded. They hit him with a chair, and they got the Buff blockbuster, the super Buff blockbuster, and they pin him. Are you shocked about that? The fans were literally shocked, and the announcers, it almost was like they were like, what?
What did he sign, though? What did Flair have him sign?
So that's the thing. Is Flair in on it? Like that he had this fan that Goldberg's like, oh, that's his fan. Like he signed an autograph for him in the back. Like so Goldberg remembers the fan.
Right.
Then they're like, oh, there's the fan from before. What Buff and Luger are about to beat him up? So Goldberg goes to save the fan, and he gets maced by the fan. So the fan obviously, and you don't know if Flair's in on it too, was in on it with Buff, and the fan actually ends up leaving with Buff and Luger too, like and laughing. So they're like trying to pump up, like they don't mention who this fan is or what, but they're trying to pump him up. The guy, this random fan, helped end Goldberg's career.
How old is this fan?
18, I'd say, something like that.
All right, well, interesting. We'll see where it goes.
Are you shocked though? Goldberg's career got ended by a tag.
Well, no,
because
there's going to be some kind of, there's going to be some kind of hijinks.
This is his last ever appearance. He never comes back.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is it. There's no gimmick here. He's out.
He's done. He doesn't come back.
Wow. That's yeah.
Here's the thing though. Bischoff said he's having a big surprise for the Night of Champions, which means, which is 2 months after this, by the way, but basically saying Goldberg is going to be coming back. You know what I mean? Like he's basically, and he never does because Bischoff's gone.
Wow. So the fan, did we ever find out more about this fan?
Not really. No.
Interesting.
They do have a funeral though, eventually for Goldberg, and Scott Steiner did this awesome thing where he'd do a funeral every week for all the guys that he's going to quote unquote retire, even if he didn't retire them. It's like a great gimmick. It's like, wait, that was really Luger and Buff and that fan, but he would be a part of it. And it would become a funny thing that they would do on the show. The one thing that I liked on the show, but I don't know. I was shocked that Goldberg lost.
Interesting,
because you wouldn't expect that, especially from a tag match. So he's gone and never to return.
Interesting. I want to hear this big payoff at the end.
Video package for this, because obviously Steiner beat Sid last month at Starrcade. Sid wants its rematch. Jarrett was involved in that match as well. Scott Steiner with Medeja ends up defeating Jeff Jarrett, Sid, and this mystery man in a 4 corners match for the WCW Heavyweight Championship. Not a good match. Goes 8 minutes. Too much chicanery. Too much weirdness with Jarrett and Steiner and Sid. It's basically a triple threat match. And Sid, and he said this in an interview, that Johnny Ace told him to do the move where he goes off the top rope with a boot. It's just one leg standing, and he breaks his leg literally in half. It's disgusting. You don't even want to see the replay. Even though the next night on Nitro, when Steiner does a funeral for him, they show the freaking replay, and he has like the casket out. He goes, R.I.P. Sid, and his career's over. And I'm like, you can't show that video because it really, his career probably is over. Like, oh man, it's so gross.
I never saw that. Never saw that. We'll never watch it. Yeah.
But because of the way the match is laid out, he literally is sitting there holding his leg up like as it's dangling while they're waiting for the mystery man to come out. So Chuck Tache, whatever, I believe it was Chuck at this point, was the trainer. He's just standing on the outside of the ring. He doesn't even go in the ring to see if Sid's okay. He just lets him sit there because the storyline isn't set. So like it totally ruins, like, even though momentum of the pay-per-view, most of the matches were really good, it totally killed the momentum of the pay-per-view. So Ric Flair's music hits while Sid's leg is broken. Why Steiner's just like, well, what do? I can't hit him, can I? He's like, his leg is broke. Like, so they're waiting for the mystery man to come out. Flair's music, the mystery man comes out. He's still wearing all the regalia, the Jason mask, the black, everything. He comes down. You think he's about to hit Steiner? No, he kicks Sid in the head, rips off the mask. It's Road Warrior Animal is the mystery man.
That's a fun right there.
Then Steiner pins Sid, who has the broken leg, by the way. You could have just pinned him 5 minutes ago. You didn't need Animal to come and kick him to do it. Yeah. And obviously, the Steiner retains the WCW World Heavyweight title in about 8 minutes. A really short match, too, which maybe got because of Sid's leg injury. But, man, that was gross. Oof.
Yeah, I never saw that, bro. I hate stuff like that, bro. I remember freaking Joe Theismann breaking his leg. I hate stuff like that, bro. I never watched that. Never.
It is gross. It's horrific. But Road Warrior Animal is celebrating with Jarrett and Steiner to end. So it's crazy, though. It's like, okay, wait. They kind of don't mention it, but then obviously you find out eventually the next night Flair was in on it all.
Yeah.
He's in on the Goldberg stuff. Because he's with Steiner. He's in on the Sid stuff. He's in on the Road Warrior Animal stuff. So basically what happens is Steiner, Animal, and Jarrett basically celebrate as Steiner was entitled to retain at the end of the show, and that's it. But you're thinking in your head like, holy shit, Sid's leg is broke, and the mystery man wasn't Macho Man or like somebody of that. Like I thought it was gonna be somebody huge.
Yeah.
I love Animal, but
yeah. When they set it up like that, bro, and then it's a letdown, it sucks, man. And they do that so many times, and I don't know why. You know, if it's going to be a letdown.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I would have never done something like that if I know it's going to be a letdown. I mean, we did the thing with Vince, but again, that was a plan B. Like that was not the original plan. You know what I mean?
Who was plan A? Jake Steiner?
No, I told you, Daniel.
Oh, Christopher Daniels.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
And Jake would have been great if he wasn't,
yes.
half cocked at the time, but
yep.
But yeah, I don't know. They always do that, man. The big surprise, and then it's a letdown. I don't know why.
The rumor was, a Meltzer reported it was going to be Rick Steiner. So even that, I think, would have been
that would not have been good. Nah, that wouldn't have been good.
Yeah. Who would you want? Macho Man? Right?
Oh yeah, Macho Man would have been great. Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's crazy. This is like the end of Sin, WCW, the end of Goldberg in WCW, all in one night, and for different circumstances, and really because Brad Siegel kind of decides to
and then
the
end of Bischoff soon.
Yep. So is this a pay-per-view that interests you? I know you never will go back and watch, but any interest?
Not really. There's nothing that really hooked me here.
So they are setting up for the new heel faction, the new NWO, if you will. It's going to be called the Magnificent Seven. So they got 7 guys in the faction. You'll find out eventually, because obviously Flair sent Miller away for a reason. He obviously tricked Goldberg. He obviously is the one that brought in the mystery man that helped Steiner. So obviously he's laying the groundwork. He's the CEO. So it's Flair, Scott Steiner, Road Warrior Animal, Jeff Jarrett, Buff Bagwell, Lex Luger, and then eventually, to make the 7th guy, it'll be Rick Steiner, who returns and turns heel and joins the group. So what do you think about
the Eric loved all that Western shit. Like he loved that Magnificent 7, aces and eights, and like he loved doing shit like that.
Trying to create the next NWO, the next big heel faction.
That's a lot of guys, though, man. 7's a lot of guys.
Yep.
That's a lot of guys. Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap up this bad boy. Head towards the plugs. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 2Man Power Trip. How about you, Vince?
Yeah, guys, right now the address is right there on the screen. We're offering for the rest of the month of March. You can get your first month of Patreon for half price, bro. And that's like $250. I mean, Patreon's only $4.95 a month. Just go to patreon.com/Russo TWC, but you need to do it by the end of the month.
All right. Thank you, Vince. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. See you right back here next time for the next POZCAST. Have a good one, folks.